Pray for the victory of our real and true parents. We pray for true fathers who are reaching the spiritual world, and also our true mother here on earth. And we pray for the rest of the true children who are here in the physical world and the others in the spiritual world. We pray for their success always, and we pray for the true grandchildren. We pray for their peace, and we pray for the brothers and sisters who are attending this, and we pray for our elder sister, Sanjana, who's heading and running the world mission headquarters with her husband, Yusuf. And we pray for our leaders all over the world, especially here in America. We pray for our continental leader, Bishop Kim, the national president of Family Federation for World Peace, Reverend Dr. Michael Balkan, and our district leaders, Reverend Ernest and Keiko Patton, and the rest of all the pastors and civil leaders all over the world, especially here in the Mid-Atlantic area. We pray for Reverend Kira Ota in Norfolk, Virginia, Father Adrian Bayo, his wife and son in Richmond, Virginia, and in Tulsa, Maryland. We pray for Reverend James Stewart and his wife, and in Belfast. We pray for Miss Liz June in Northern Virginia, and in Maryland. We pray for Reverend Dylan Stevens and his wife, co-pastors like Miss Joe, Reverend Booty, and we pray for the Washington D.C. area, where the ACLC chairman, our Bishop Dr. Stalling, his wife and two children, are here, and the rest of the officers of Vice Chairman, Dr. Tamacott, and many others in the American Clergy Leadership Conference. We pray for their success always, as we pray also for our pastor, Reverend Zagery Oliver, his wife Hoon and daughter Diana. We pray for unity, we pray for prosperity, healing, and we pray for many conscientious brothers and sisters that they will connect with us always here at Washington Family Church. And we pray for each other's success, and we pray all of this in all our names and in my name, Athanasius Francis Nicola, blessed of God. I choose, I choose, I choose. Good morning. We're reading the World Scriptures and the teachings of Sun Myung Moon. And we're now on page 328 from the topic Inner Enlightenment. Whatever difficulties you face, do not ask others, but ask your own conscience. When you pray, do not pray vaguely. God gave you an original mind, so you should be united with that precious gift. Once you are united with it, you will know everything about yourself. Once you have cultivated your heart and mind, you can be tuned to God's heart and mind. And this is from a speech in November 21, 1998. Even though I'm your teacher, my teachings cannot connect you eternally to God. It is your task to find your original heart. You have to hear the calling of heaven through your mind's ears. You have to see the divine nature through your mind's eyes. You have to feel the heart of heaven through your mind's senses. You have thought that God was the only precious existence, but now we should understand that our minds are just as precious. By finding the nucleus of our mind, you can attain the high standard of value by which God can make relationships with you. Otherwise, how can you be in alignment with heaven's principle? Today, believers frequently take comfort from their conceptual beliefs and their world of faith. Yet, although we are fallen, our minds contains elements of the ideal of creation, which we can commune with the eternal God. What, after all, is the purpose of prayer? Why do Buddhists seek a state of emptiness through Zen meditation? It is to awaken the elements that lie at the nucleus of the mind. And this is from a speech on May 19, 1957. Shakyamuni Buddha said, "In heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one." In what state did he teach this? If you were to enter the state of resonance, you would become one with God in the state. You should be able to see thousands of years of human history unfold before your eyes. You would experience yourself as having the incredible value. And now we're on page 329. How can we humans escape from the painful cycle of suffering? Life after life, how can we escape from our miserable life's destiny that ends in the cemetery? This is the homework given to each of us. In order to solve this, we have to receive training to enter the realm of resonance. When mind and body have the same power, they fight. We must establish the mind over body. There are two ways. The first way is by weakening the body through conditions such as fasting, prayer, vigils, etc., and then to drag about the weakened body for several months. After a while, even When the body is comfortable, it will obey the mind out of the newly acquired habit. If you reach that state, you will experience heaven's help bringing you success in what you do. The second way to establish the mind's dominion over the body is to give more energy to the mind. Make continual efforts to give energy to the mind. When these efforts accumulate to a certain point, the door of your mind will open. Once the door opens, you will gain immense power. If you strengthen the mind's power at least 3 times over, then you will have no problem with the body. People make many conditions in the religious life to focus the mind's power to lead the body. Once you attain spiritual enlightenment, you gain great power in your mind. Then, if you yield to your body's desire, you will feel nauseous and want to vomit. A person who has attained spiritual enlightenment has strong mental power. Hence, his body follows the mind's desires automatically. All religions teach this is the way to reach an advanced stage in the life of a human being. Following this way and centered on God's love, you will enter a realm of higher dimension. When you realize on your own that you are sons and daughters of God, that is why Buddha said, "In heaven and earth I am the honored one." A person who has attained enlightenment is the source of his own authority. That is why he has the right to boast of how precious he is. By becoming a son or daughter who receives the unique love of God, you are in a position to inherit everything that is God's. You realize that you are of yourself an elevated being. The path of every human being ends here in the realm of God's love. And this is from a speech of our true Father in January 8, 1971. Now we have a new subtopic, opening the third eye. I am blind and do not see the things of this world, but when the light comes from above, it enlightens my heart, and I can see. For the eye of my heart sees everything, and through this vision I can help my people. The heart is a sanctuary at the center of which there is a little space, wherein the Great Spirit dwells, and this is the eye. This is the eye of the Great Spirit, by which He sees all things, and through which we see Him. If the heart is not pure, the Great Spirit cannot be seen. And this is from Black Elk Native American religions. The enlightenment consists of a mysterious light, which the shaman suddenly feels in his body, inside his head, within the brain, an inexplicable searchlight, a luminous fire, for he can now, even with closed eyes, see through darkness and perceive things and coming events which are hidden from others. Thus, they look into the future and into the secrets of others. The candidate obtains this mystical light after long hours of waiting, sitting on the bench in his hut and invoking the spirits. When he experiences it for the first time, it is as if the house in which he suddenly rises, he sees far ahead of him, through mountains, exactly as if the earth were one great plain. His eyes could reach to the end of the earth. Nothing is hidden from him any longer. Not only can he see things far, far away, but he can also discover souls, stolen souls, which are either kept concealed in far, strange lands, or have been taken up or down to the land of the dead. And this is from Iglulik, Eskimo Shaman Initiation, and this is from the Native American religions. Are you still there? We're now on page 330, the teachings of our Father, San Myung Moon. There's only like 3 paragraphs. Most people do not know the spirit world. They know only the world they perceive through their 5 senses. However, when we directly relate to God in true love, we can cultivate our 10 senses, the 5 physical senses, and beyond them, the 5 spiritual senses. This will enable us to resonate with the spirit world. People who only seek self-centered love cannot achieve it. Fallen love is dark. It is destruction itself. The more you immerse yourself in fallen love, the more darkness will envelope you. It is as if an insulator covered your electrical terminal. No electricity can flow. And this is from a speech on December 24, 2002. Cognition of spiritual reality begins when it is perceived through the 5 senses of the spirit self. These perceptions resonate through the 5 physical senses and are felt physiologically. Cognition of truth, on the other hand, arises from the knowledge gleaned from the physical world as it is perceived directly through our physiological sense organs. Cognition thus takes place through both spiritual and physical processes. Human beings become complete only when their spirit self and physical self are unified. Hence, the experience of divine inspiration gained through the spiritual cognition and the knowledge of truth obtained through physical cognition should become fully harmonized and awakened the spirituality and intellect together. It is only when the spiritual and physical dimensions of cognition resonate together that we can thoroughly comprehend God and the universe. It is from the exposition of the divine principle, Eschatology, chapter 5.1. And now it's already 5:30. That's the end of our Hoon Dok Hae, with the topic opening the third eye. And tomorrow we'll be reading about a new topic, liberation, on page 330. And is there anybody who wants to share about the topic we read today, opening the third eye and the inner enlightenment? And of course, Father explained the inner enlightenment to us. Anybody from the teleconference? Okay, for the inner enlightenment, Father also mentioned here Sakyamuni Buddha. He said, "In heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one." So in what state did he teach this? If you were to enter the state of resonance, you would become one with God. In that state, you would be able to see thousands of years of human history unfold before your eyes. You would experience yourself as having that incredible value. So many people, they go to the mountains, they meditate for quite some time, and then they will be one with nature and even God. And of course they can see visions. So even Father has a way here, two ways to control the body, because if our mind and body have the same power, they will fight. So there will be, there's no give and take, but fighting with mind and body. And of course, he said, how can we humans escape from that painful cycle of suffering, life after life? How can we escape from our miserable life's destiny that ends in the cemetery? This is the homework given to each of us. In order to solve this, we have to receive training to enter the realm of resonance. So that resonance that he's talking about is, we must establish the mind over the body. And there are two ways. The first way is by weakening the body through conditions such as fasting, prayer, vigils, I think in our Hoon Dok Hae early morning, etc. And then to drug about the weakened body for several months. After a while, even when the body is comfortable, it will obey the mind of its newly acquired habit. So I thought it was like 21 days, you do it all the time, and then it can be a habit. But Father mentions it's about several months. We do prayer and then fasting, because you control the body. So if you reach that state, you will experience heaven's help bring you success in what you do. So for people who even fasted for like 21 days, and on that day they're about to end their fast, they can hear something, that even the food is telling them, please eat me. I've been waiting for you. And please don't hesitate. You're worthy to eat now. You have fasted, something like that. And they get a lot of inspiration from the spirit world. And they even dream also in between, in the waking state, and then can clearly write it down. So that's the way, to control the body for not only days, but Father mentions here several months, until even when the body is comfortable, it will obey the mind out of the newly acquired habit. And the second way is to establish the mind's dominion over the body, is to give more energy to the mind. Make continual efforts to give energy to the mind. When these efforts accumulate to a certain point, the door of your mind will open. Once the door opens, you will gain immense power. If you strengthen the mind's power at least 3 times over, then you have no problem with the body. People make many conditions in the religious life to focus the mind's power to lead the body. So once you attain spiritual enlightenment, you gain great power in your mind. Then if you yield to your body's desires, you will feel nauseous and want to vomit. A person who has attained spiritual enlightenment has strong mental power, so hence his body follows the mind's desires automatically. So the Buddhist monks in Tibet, they wear only a few garments, and it's very cold, and they can even walk with their bare feet, and they can stay as warm as they can by just thinking that the body is like a fire, and then they can expose themselves to the cold, and they don't need so much clothing, and they can walk around Tibet during winter without, some even walk on snow barefoot. They don't get frostbite or anything. And of course it's mind over body. And in India there are many people who practice not only yoga, but they walk on fire. They place something on your skin and stitch many things, and they feel no pain. So they call these powers like siddhis. So power to control, the environment, the bodies against the environment, and then walking on charcoal. So walking on fire. So anybody else who's enlightened today, or have something to share about a reading about the opening also the third eye? And in conclusion for that also, once we have controlled the body, we are in resonance with with the higher dimension. So you can realize, when you realize that you're on your own, that you are sons and daughters of God. That is why Buddha said, when he was enlightened, in heaven and earth I alone am the honored one. A person who has attained enlightenment is the source of his own authority. That is why he has the right to boast of how precious he is. So a lot of monks have this kind of, and they can preach and they can go without food because they were fasting, controlling the body. And in Father's speech, by becoming a son and daughter who receives the unique love of God, you're in a position to inherit everything that is God's. So people who has this kind of mind and body unity, enlightenment, that you realize that you're yourself an elevated being, and the path of a human being ends here, in the real realm of God's love. So people think that they can attract wealth, control the atmosphere, even there's a storm or there's rain coming. They can blow away the clouds, and that's, people who have these conditions. And in the country that I am from, there are people who, pray to Jesus Christ as a Santo Niño when he was small. They offer eggs and they dance for a clear weather. And you offer 21 eggs, these ladies would dance in front and pray, and they walk from the entrance of the church all the way to the altar. They don't walk by their feet, but they walk kneeling, and they pray until they get there. And then of course they dance for a while and then make some offering. And then in many events that they need clear weather, even if it's storming or there are thunderstorms, it will clear up because of their mere devotion, their mere condition in praying for good and clear weather. So, anybody else? Are you still all there? Okay. Let's read Liberation tomorrow, Sunday, and let's all rise and have unison prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we're so thankful for reading about inner enlightenment and teaching us the way to control our body so that it will resonate like God and all the higher dimensions in heaven. We pray that as we have read many of the Word of Scriptures controlling our bodies this very early morning, to read and absorb your words, we pray that we have some kind of spiritual power to really control everything around us, so that we can really also bring our mind to be sharp and be alert in whatever things that we do. We are so thankful, our Heavenly Parents, for giving us conditions to go also from house to house, and we'll see that there's nobody there, and there's a different spirit on any place that we can really get results in witnessing, or even our recreational activities, which we recreate all the money that the people give when we do recreate it and fundraise it. we pray, our Heavenly Father, that we can always use our mind to such an extent that we're using only 1/8 of our mind because we think of ourselves, but we think of others. We find ways to really raise up that nucleus in our mind so that we can achieve whatever we want to do and even fulfill our needs. We pray that we can always increase the percentage of our use of our minds so that we can really achieve many things for your providence here on earth. We pray that we can convince people that they can also do this, and we pray that when we have some events we can invite more people to bring their also friends so that we can easily lecture them about the divine principles and even this world of scriptures and the speeches that we are reading about any topic right now and the enlightenment. We pray, our Heavenly Parents, that all the people who will be watching this playback and those brothers and sisters who are connected to the Hoon Dok Hae would really be enlightened, that they can really use this power to really be successful in the place of work, in their families, that there will be an aura of influence to their whatever mission or everything that they do for a good purpose. And we pray for each other's success. We pray all of this in all our names and in my name. Athanasius, Francis, Catalan, blessed of the family, our Jew, our Jew, our Jew. Let's sing the unity song in English. Our cherished hopes are for you, even our dreams are for you, we give our lives for you, come along, unity, saving all people, unity, saving all nations. Come here quickly, unity. Come along, unity. Good morning to you, our beloved true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Good morning to the true children. Good morning to the true grandchildren and all our brothers and sisters. Good morning. Good morning, Reverend Oliver. So we have a good topic today. Ways to control the body and to have resonance with the higher realm and even with God, that we can become like Buddha. You'll be enlightened. So have an enlightening day to everyone. Yeah, Buddha be praised, and have a nice weekend. Yes. Have a great day and wonderful day.
Thank you. You too now.
Yes.
God bless.
God bless.